Coming at you live on this beautiful Sunnyside Summer Thursday. This is the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including, and pay attention, 50% off your first 3 online purchases.
It's like half.
Damn. Enter the promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois Med card holders. Again, sunnyside.shop, code HICHGO for 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Hot damn, that's a great deal. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being with us. Hello. And yes, people are already asking no jury duty. I was a standby. I didn't read that carefully.
You didn't?
Greg told me to call, so I called last night, and props to the jury duty people. Because you call and it's a recording, but they build the suspense. If your last name starts with the letter G through the letter O, you must attend jury duty. If your name does not start with those letters, you don't have to come. I was like, nice. Driving home. I called it 4:31.
It's like it's back in the day and in grade school, waiting for your school to scroll by.
That was very much like that. They just leave that recording. It just hangs there for a second. You don't know what the answer is going to be.
So you didn't use the advice to just walk in and start yelling racist stuff?
No, I'll save that for next time. Thanks for being with us, everybody. We appreciate you. I'm Jay Zawaski. That's Greg Boysen and Mario Tirabassi.
Hello.
Law is here as well. I think the planes have stopped zooming by.
Yeah, sadly.
I know.
Yeah, I saw a couple jet fighters fly over the Kennedy as I was driving in, and
cool.
I was like, man, I really hope it's Aaron Water Show weekend.
Yes. Well, we were out yesterday, and 3 big military choppers flew over our baseball fields and home. But I was kind of like,
you never know these days.
Yeah, you don't know
what's going on, especially with the convention coming up here in a couple weeks.
Right.
I mean, I know that the Aaron Waters Show is nothing but military propaganda, but I just want to put Danger Zone on repeat, and I turn into such an idiot when that's
tax dollars in use.
Right.
It's cool to see a jet go zoom. It's fun.
It makes you feel very confident. You see them, but you don't. They're gone by the time you hear them.
Mm-hmm. And so are you.
Yeah,
in some situations.
It's pretty crazy. So you got to see the Blue Angels flying around on our little family farm's deck out there, which is very cool. Me and Law were watching that for a while, but maybe they'll be there for Metallica tomorrow if they're early enough.
I mean, we'll be right on the lake.
Yeah.
When is the actual water show? Saturday and Sunday?
I think it starts tomorrow. Is it 3 days?
Tomorrow's the practice, the official.
Oh, okay.
Here's what it's going to look like, but it's practice, and then Saturday, Sunday is the actual event.
We'll be in the parking lot, so we'll see some.
I'm going back down again Sunday too, so that's good to know that I probably should leave early.
Yeah, good thing we'll be down here already.
Yeah,
and we've got our
parking
secured.
You know, the fighter jets get all the attention. What is the portion of the water show?
Oh, it's sweet. It's like Wisconsin Dells. They got a pyramid of people.
Tommy Bartlett show.
Yeah,
is it
exactly.
Is it like that?
Like water skiers?
Not really. I mean,
they probably have some speedboats.
Is Zippy the water skiing squirrel
they
there?
do have military it's their not ziplining, but shooting out of a helicopter.
Oh,
into
the
a
rescue.
water
Yeah,
like
water
Coast Guard
rescues
and stuff.
That's cool. I've never seen the water
people
part.
get strapped to the backboard, and then they get lifted up, and then the helicopter propellers are so fast that it starts spinning the person they're saving. That would be something I'd watch.
That's cool. I should go to the water part someday. I've always just kind of watched it from
it's not worth it.
Neighborhoods or whatever.
Go further away from the people and go up to Belmont in the lake. That's pretty damn cool.
All right.
It's like going to a 4th of July parade or the fireworks. Go to the fireworks.
Yeah, fireworks. Exactly. All right, well, thanks for being with us, everybody. Today, it is Top 10 Thursday, as it is every Thursday. And today, we're going to start our new plan until the season begins, is every Thursday, we're going to rank the top 10 at each position. So left wing, right wing, center, defense, and goaltender, and that's where we're starting today with our top 10 goaltender. Did you
saw
do a
top
different
10
position?
tenders, and I thought we were talking about
Raising
Chick-fil-A,
Canes.
Raising Canes.
Nicky's at Beverly. Those are the best tenders.
What's the one that the Cubs guys did the takeover?
The Village
Oh,
Inn.
Village
Inn,
Inn.
yeah.
Haven't had those, but they look good.
Yeah, they did look
What was
good.
the place we went to in Nashville where they advertised the best chicken tenders, and then
That was
they actually
Louisville.
Were really good.
That was
that wasn't
that was
Nashville,
on the
that
way
was
down.
Louisville
I can't
on
remember the
way.
name
It
of
was
the
at
place.
the stadium.
It was
Yeah.
attached to the Louisville Bats Stadium. They were very good.
Yeah.
World's best.
You know who has a very underrated chicken tender that I think I will take over Raising Cane's? Popeye's chicken tenders
obviously,
are superior
Against
to
the
Raising
Grain Brewery and Public House.
Yeah,
That's
that
what it
place was good.
Yeah, that was
very good.
That was a cool place.
But yeah, if you're in the South Side, Nicky's at Beverly there on 105th and Western, very, very good. Get them with the Bayou sauce on them.
Ooh-wee.
Delightful. No, alas, we're not doing chicken tenders today,
No, because we don't have 3 hours. We only have 1 hour.
and I can't narrow it down to 10.
Right.
We're gonna do goaltenders instead. So let's start.
Top 10
with-
tenders, you mean today or all time?
Exactly.
Right.
So the assignment is the top 10 goaltenders right now. So we're not going by who was great 5 years ago or who we predict is going to be great in 5 years. We're saying today, August 8th, 2024, who are the 10 best goalies in hockey? Greg, start us off.
All right, we're going to start with the goaltender of the Western Conference champion, Edmonton Oilers. He deserves to be on this list just because of the stash alone. But
Kind of looks like a tender.
it's Stuart Skinner. Now, when you look at his overall numbers last year, you kind of like, I know he gets a bad rep. He did have some stinkers, but every goalie does. 36 wins. Wins are misleading because none of us had the guy that led the league in wins last year on our top 10.
Alexander Georgiev.
But he had a 2.62 GAA, which is, hey, on a
It's
team
really
like
good.
the Edmonton Oilers, that's how you win 36 games.
Yeah.
Right.
His .905 save percentage, not great.
It's average.
But when you dive into the numbers, you see why he deserves to be there. His season kind of turned around, as did the Edmonton Oilers, around the 1st of December when they made the coaching change. In his last 42 games of the season, so from December 1st to the end of the year, he had a .914 save percentage and gave up 2 or less goals in 26 of those 42 games.
That's very good.
Pretty good.
During his personal 12-game winning streak from December 22nd to January 27th, he gave up just 17 goals in those 12 games and had a .950 save percentage over 12 games.
That'll do it.
Well, look, we know in this town that it can be very difficult for a goalie to shake a reputation. And Corey Crawford, when all the evidence, if you watched him 82 games and you watched him in playoffs and you watched the breadth of his career, tells you he is a very good, potentially borderline Hall of Fame goaltender. Whereas you go around the country and ask people about Corey Crawford and they say, oh, he was just a passenger. He was probably the weakest link in that chain.
Right.
And they were just so good they overcame his play. Obviously not the case with Corey Crawford. I think we're getting a little bit of that with Stuart Skinner, who had a couple stinkers, had a couple bad playoff games, a couple bad playoff moments.
Yeah.
But overall has been very good. So
Yeah, and I think going into this upcoming season, with him being the go-to guy in Edmonton, I think you have some confidence in that. And yeah, I mean, is it helpful that he plays behind probably one of the best 4 teams in the league?
of course.
Yeah, obviously. But I think, you can say that about a lot of goaltenders, is that because they're good, their team is good. So that it all, kind of correlates. So yeah, with Skinner, the Oilers are going to be a team that can score a lot. He basically just has to be a little bit better than league average as far as, save percentage goes. And they're going to be in a good spot. And I think, you can build off of last season and roll with him, have some confidence. And yeah, I think it's fair that he's in the top third of starters going into this season.
Yeah, you don't get a team to the Stanley Cup final by accident. I mean, usually you got to have a little.
No.
Yeah.
And he was inconsistent at times in the playoffs. But another thing to remember about Stuart Skinner, I think we've only scratched the surface with him. He turns 26 on November 1st,
Yeah.
so he's still very young, especially for a goalie. He's only had 2 full seasons in the AHL. I think he still has a lot of room to improve and get better, and then maybe it'd be fun when we do this next year to see where he's on the list. Is he still in the bottom half, or does he get himself closer to a top 5 if he puts together? I mean, he was second in Calder voting last year.
Mm-hmm.
This, I think, if he has a more consistent season playing in Edmonton, he could be one of those like dark horse Vezina guys that builds his case throughout the year, because playing with Connor McDavid and winning games in Edmonton is not going to hurt you in the Vezina vote.
Well, it also keeps you on the radar a lot, because every time McDavid steps his skates on the ice, it's a national story. People care about it. People have eyes on it. So he's definitely got the spotlight in him too. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to keep going back to the Crawford thing, but you said, like, there's a couple games that were bad on a big stage, and Corey Crawford's 5 glove hand goal game that he won. was that hurt his reputation big time, because look at this, they keep going back to the glove hand. That was just an anomaly. At no point during his time here did I think he had a bad glove hand. I don't think anyone really did. It just sort of worked out that way, whereas Tuukka Rask gave up 6 goals of all different varieties.
Places, yeah.
All kinds of holes.
Right, yeah.
Love that movie.
It's a good series.
It's about digging.
Right.
Clam digging.
Oh, I saw a different one. Yeah. Thanks, Pierre Maguire, for that nonsense.
Yep.
The fact that he's gone, he's no longer on anybody's TV is a good thing.
That's good. That is good. Region Rev, by the way, just reminded me. She said, I'm on my way to Iowa repping CHGO Sky merch and Shady Rays.
Let's go.
Nice. Appreciate that. If you ordered the 27 All-Star design, they are shipping out. I got my notification. I know you guys got yours too.
I got a notification for that. Yep.
They are on their way. And if you want one, you can still get them at chgolocker.com to celebrate number 27 entering the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Which means now, if you order them now, you'll get them in probably less than a week. They've been printed and are in stock.
Yeah, they're ready to go.
There you go.
I got that, and I got another Bears shirt for Bears season.
Which one did you get?
Nice.
Franchise with the 18.
Nice.
And
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
I want the new one that's not currently available. I'll just tease it as it's the one.
Oh, it's coming?
Want. Yeah, there's a good one coming.
Well, I'm sure there's a bunch
new one coming.
There's a good one
for
coming.
the start of the season.
Yeah.
So people can get them by Thanksgiving.
We should have released it already.
I want a Brett Rippon shirt, my friend.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Colin Johnson for Hall of Fame.
Let it rip. Huh?
See?
Now we got
The
it.
shirts write themselves.
We've gotten to the point where we now fall in love with the third string quarterback in this town. Guess that's what happens when hopefully the first stringer is actually good. Then you fall in love with the third stringer.
Yeah. Hey, do us a favor, Thomas, with a nice reminder. Smash that like button for us. 3, 2, 1. Let's do a like spike right now. Please hit that for us. And before we get to the break zone, we don't want to start number 9 before we get to the break zone here. Brandon says, if Mrazek were on a better team, could he be considered a top 15 goaltender?
If he performed like he did last season on a better team, yeah, I would think so. Because he put up a league average, a little bit above league average save percentage last year. His goals saved above expected or above average was in the top half of the league for guys that were starters, and he did that all with a team that finished third to the bottom. Like it's or second to last. It's if he were to put that type of season together on a better team, I think you'd have a lot more consideration for him to be higher in the pecking order than he is.
And that's another guy that has a reputation of always being hurt, so he has to
prove that he can't get hurt.
So yeah, he has one season where he stayed on the ice, and now put together 2 in a row, and maybe that reputation starts to calm down a little bit.
And the Hawks will be a little more on the radar this year. Not only, last year they had Bedard, so they got some national stuff, but with the Winter Classic and a more competitive team, you never know.
Yeah.
I think you could probably make the argument he's near there now.
Yeah.
Right around 15, 16, 17, I would probably argue.
Out of all starters, guys that you expect to lead the team in games played for their teams, I would put him at the front of the line of the bottom third of the league, so probably like 20th.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, the other 9 on our top 10 Thursday list.
We'll get through it.
And a super chat, too.
We do have a super chat to get to, which we will on the other side of the break zone. But first, Greg's going to tell you about Shady Rays.
I can tell you about Shady Rays. Hey, if you're going to be looking up at the sky all weekend watching the airplanes, you should probably have some Polaroid shades protecting your eyeballs, or else you're going to need to go see the eye doctor next week. So our friends at Shady Rays have you and your precious eyeballs covered with their premium Polaroid shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is the world's greatest independent sunglasses company, offering you a world-class product rated 5 stars by over, get this, 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all your outdoor adventures this summer. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're going to find the perfect pair to match your style. They probably even have a style in your team's favorite colors, or even your favorite team's colors, whichever one you prefer. I love my Shady Rays. I don't get in the car without them, whether it's sun is out or not. I just feel like I can always see clearer. Things seem to be in better focus and sharper when I got my Shady Rays on. Plus, if your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, maybe a sonic boom from a Blue Angel blows them off your head and you can't find them. Don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you don't love your shades, but unless you're a weirdo, you will, exchange for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back with personal and fast support. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code CHGO for 35% off your Polaroid shades, and you could try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by 300,000 people.
That's a lot. People. And the warmer, sunnier days are here. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals this summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. They have 35 different meals with more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week. So you'll always have new flavors to explore. You won't get sick of the same old thing. And you can make your day delicious from breakfast to dessert. Stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. We've had the Factor meals. They are delightful. We love them. Try it for yourself. Head to factormeals.com/CHGOHawks50 and use the code CHGOHawks50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code CHGOHawks50 at factormeals.com/CHGOHawks50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. So do that. Use those codes. If you're really trying to help us here at CHGO, using those codes, no specific websites, that is very helpful for us. So again, go to factormeals.com/CHGOHawks50 and get yourself some Factor meal kits. All right, let's knock out the super chat we've got here from Lucy B. Lucy says, thank you guys for doing these shows this summer. Summer's gone so fast. I have to start school tomorrow. Keep up the great work. Well, we don't have a choice. We'd be fired if we didn't do the shows.
Starting on a Friday.
That's movie day.
What a bunch of evil pricks.
That's got to be just like freshman orientation day or something.
Yeah, like here's where your locker is. All right, go home.
You could do that on
Monday,
Monday,
where all
too.
your classes are.
That's BS.
That's just wrong.
Yeah, Eddie starts Wednesday
by noon.
I always started, when I went to public school as a kid, we always started on a Tuesday because we started a day after Labor Day.
Right, yeah.
And then when I went to Catholic high school, we started earlier. But I don't remember what day of the week. Wednesday sounds about right. Kind of like a half a week.
Ease in.
I feel like my high school classes every year started like a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
It was like a half a day on Wednesday, a full day on Thursday, and like a half a day on Friday.
Yeah.
And you started.
And it gives the teachers a chance to kind of ease everybody in.
Yeah.
Kids know how to get to their classes, and then Monday.
Syllabus day.
You start with a plum. Yeah. That's a word I learned in high school.
Good work.
You like that?
I prefer an apricot.
Well, the summer is ending for you, Lucy, and we're sorry to hear that, but it's still going to go on for about another 6 or 7 weeks for us.
And the good news is that means hockey's closer.
That's true.
It is. It's not close enough, though.
No, it is not. But, all right, let's get to number 9.
Number 9
on our list here. Gregory.
Two old guys got that one.
Yep.
I got it. I just didn't say it.
We have Ilya Sorokin.
Former Blackhawk.
Of the New York Islanders.
He looks very annoyed to be picked this low in this photo.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. Spoiler alert. He wasn't even on my top 10.
I could explain it.
He kind of sucked last year.
Yeah, he did not have a great year. The list is right now.
He had a 301 GAA and a 908 save percentage. That's why he wasn't the starter down the stretch. When the Islanders were fighting for their playoff lives, it was the other captain,
Captain Pudwack.
Captain Pudwack.
Simeon Varlamov.
Yeah, that douche. He was the starter down the stretch. So, but the talent is there. Prior to this season, he was awesome. He was top 4 goalie in this league heading into this season. Even with the rough numbers this year, his career GAA is still 2.54 and a 9.19 save percentage. So, listen, I'll take him on my team in a heartbeat. I had him outside the top 10 because he wasn't very good last year and he needs to rebound. And when you're the goalie for the New York Islanders and you're giving up 3 a game,
right? Yeah,
your team is done because that team can't score 4 goals a night.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I put Sorokin here kind of based off of a little bit of reputation. I don't expect him to continue to struggle into this upcoming season. I still think he is a quality goaltender that, when push comes to shove, you can rely on. Islanders are going to do it again this year. I mean, when you look at who are the best goaltenders in the league right now, and you look at going into like the Olympics, let's say like who would be goalie for Russia, I think you got 3 of them with a legitimate case to be a goalie for that team, and they're all on this list. Yeah. And Sorokin, I think, is in that conversation. So yeah, I again, the end of last year plays into a little bit, but I still think his resume leading up to this season still, for me, would say he's in the top 10.
Yeah, I agree with that. And by the way, just talking about Peter Mrazek, as you look at Money Puck's great goalie rankings here, he is right there with Peter Mrazek for last year, like in terms of all the expected goals saved and all that stuff, like goals saved above average. Yeah. They're like neck and neck in terms of statistics. So, but it's different because Ilya Sorokin is on the Islanders, who are historically and correctly a very solid defensive team. Right. They always play a very boring style. Right. I think they were minus 17. Yeah, they were minus 17
in games that are like 2-1 and 3-2.
Right.
Whereas Mrazek's playing in games that are like 4-5, and
yeah, they were minus 17 in goals plus minus last year. The Hawks minus 111.
Yeah, it's so a little different.
But the difference there is. That's because the Islanders couldn't score any goals. They didn't give up a ton.
Right, yeah.
They just couldn't score any goals. They were one of the least scoring teams of the season. Michael Evans is asking, when was Sorokin a Hawk? That was a reference to a rumor that was out there for like 5 minutes.
It was a report. It was good old Darren Dreger.
Yeah, Darren Dreger had a report. Was it during a draft? Right before the draft?
No, it was
or the deadline?
Was it no, it was a free agent.
It was before Sorokin came to America.
It was either free agency day or like a one of the few days after, and he was coming over from Russia, and it was like Ilya Sorokin's going to the Blackhawks, and I was like, oh shit, awesome.
Yeah. And then like 2 minutes later,
and then it was deleted, and it was like, actually nope, just kidding, he's not. He's going to the Islanders. Yeah, that was a fun. I think it was up for like 8 minutes. And I was just like, wow, that's great.
Best 8 minutes of that season, probably.
That was fun, yeah.
Yeah, I forget what year that was. Probably 2019.
It's probably 2019 because that's when he came.
Yeah,
that's when he came to the NHL.
So I was like, oh, sweet, him and Crawford. That'll be
because
great.
we would have had to trade because he was drafted by the Islanders. So I think it was the Blackhawks are acquiring Sorokin from the Islanders, and then the
Islanders get mad when trade rumors leak.
Apparently,
that's why the Blackhawks, fortunately, didn't get Nail Yakupov. Remember that whole thing?
I do.
They had a deal worked out with Yakupov, and it leaked, and the Islanders were like, this got out. Screw you. We're not doing it now.
Yeah.
And Yakupov went to the Blues. That was
dodged a bullet.
That was a done deal. And the Islanders got pissed that it got out and canceled the deal with the Hawks. Thank you, Islanders.
Wasn't Yakupov coming from the Oilers, though?
No, he was with the Islanders at the time, I believe.
I believe he did play for the Islanders.
Okay. I don't remember now Yakupov.
No, it would have been Oilers.
Yeah, they wear the same. They wear the same colors.
Yeah, whatever.
They got Lou Lamoriello.
Just delete that part.
They're weird.
Hit the dump button.
Sure.
Yeah, just do it the same as you did the other day when I said Blackhawks won the bubble series 2 days early. Yeah, just cut it out. Who cares?
Right.
Anyway, let's get to the super chat from Brogdy Scald. I think I said that right. With Brossoit coming to the Hawks, do you think we would see any changes made to Mrazek's play style, or do you think he will affect Brossoit's? No.
Play style, no. Workload, yeah, I'd probably be a bit more even.
Yeah,
But I don't think you're going to change.
Yesterday.
I don't think you're going to change how they play.
No, I don't
often.
think goalies change the way they play based on who they're sharing the net with.
Especially two guys that have played like 10 years in the league.
Yeah,
Like they are who they are.
yeah. All right, more goalie talk.
By the way, that Darren Dreger tweet is still up.
Nice.
No, it's not.
February 21st, 2020.
Yeah, Windy City Hockey
Sources
said
say
that,
the
yeah.
Islanders have traded Ilya Sorokin's rights to Chicago.
Retweeted from the show account.
And then, so that was at 2:15.
Is it really
At 2:27, Dreger says Sorokin has not been traded to Chicago, despite the fact his teammates and others in Moscow believe this to be the case. Chicago sources have confirmed no trade. My mistake.
It is still up. Oh, my God.
It is still up.
Jesus.
Yep.
Dreger, figure yourself
Yeah,
out.
I mean, you know what? Props to him
Yeah,
for leaving it
own
up
it.
and then owning
Should
it.
I-
with
should I
a
quote tweet it?
Yes, absolutely. Do it. He's never coming on this show anyway. He's too important. Probably got to pay him. All right, number 8. Speaking of guys who got paid, Juuse Saros, our pal with the Nashville Predators. Nashville just has cornered the market on Finnish
That's hilarious.
goaltenders.
All right, let's move on.
Yes. Can we
Sorry,
continue?
yep.
We're
Let's
good?
go.
All right.
Goalies.
He just gave him the stern teacher face. Mr.
Mr.
Tirabassi,
Tirabassi, would you like to
please.
share this with the whole class?
hand me
would.
the note.
Yes, I would.
Yes,
All
Juicy, the juicy one.
Juicy
I,
Saros.
real
No
quick,
goals.
I do like
No
that.
goals.
If we're talking tendies, they better be juicy.
Oof, Greg was able to spell like Vasilevskiy correct. Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah, I missed.
But you spelled this like Jussie Smollett, and I was like, that's just ridiculous.
No, I
Juicy
didn't. I spelled it.
Smollett?
I misspelled Oettinger. I only had one
Yeah.
T.
Yeah, I know.
You ass.
Oettinger.
Show's ruined.
I learned how to spell Vasilevskiy during the 2015 Stanley Cup Final.
I never did.
Because when you were covering that series, you had to
You gotta
learn-
write that a lot.
write it a lot, and you realize, oh, there's an extra I in here
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah, seriously. All right, so Juicy Smoros.
yeah.
Saros. What's that?
Yes.
George's son.
Ooh, careful.
Still waiting on my checks.
Still one of the best goalies in the league. 8th on the list. I mean, he had a pretty good year last year. Not to his standards.
He got paid as if he's a top 10 goalie.
Yeah.
in the
He
league,
did.
and
And
he's going to have to live up
with
to that.
Askarov and waiting in the wings. That was kind of a
Interesting move.
very interesting move. He had a 2.86 goals against, 906 save percentage, but 135 games. So the Predators were scoring a lot more goals last year, and they're going to score a lot more goals this year with
Yes, they
Stamkos
are.
and Marcia
Yes.
show.
Mhm.
So the little pressure taken off of our pal Juicy. But he was good enough to get them. It was a down year for him. But when you look at his seasons prior to that, a 919 save percentage, 918, 927, 914, 915, 925,
Pretty good.
923.
Yeah, this is a track record.
So, yeah, last year was an anomaly. He's still one of the best goalies in the league. We know this because, we have to watch him against the Blackhawks 3 or 4 times a season. Still one of the best goalies in the league, and he is locked up for a while.
8-year deal, right?
Yeah, it's interesting to see what they're going to do. I mean, they've got Askarov, who has been dominating the AHL for 2 seasons now, been one of the best goalies in the AHL,
As like a 20-year-old.
and it's just going to be see what they do. I mean, there were rumors at last year's draft they were trying to trade him to move up in the first round, and they got no takers. But Saros is the guy there for now. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out in a few years now. You want to hear his career numbers against the Blackhawks?
oh God, not really, but okay.
Here they are in 18
I don't know. We're getting close to the
career
break zone. Do we have to?
in 18 career games against the Chicago Blackhawks. He is 12-3-2 with a .933 save
Jesus.
percentage and a .199 goals against with
Oh my
2
God.
career shutouts.
Go away.
Only 2
Juicy.
shutouts, loser.
I mean, between him and Pecorine, I am tired of these
Yeah.
Finnish goalies in Nashville, except in the playoffs. They're fun to beat in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, but Saros had a really good playoff this year. Only two wins, but 202 goals against and a .900 save percentage. He's a good goalie, and I think even a down year for him is a very good year for most. All right, we're gonna hit the break zone again. Make sure you hit that like button for us.
zone.
33 likes. What the hell? I am starting to become personally offended by this.
Well, it's Patrick Waugh likes for goalies.
I guess so. We need more than that. We got to get at least Corey Crawford
Yeah,
likes.
seriously.
Nikolai Hobby Buin likes.
Now we're talking.
Yeah,
Which one? Which version?
53. We need the Matt Eberflus at Toledo likes.
There you go.
With the with
90.
with the gigantic shoulder pads.
Huge neck roll. Loved it. All right, we'll be back with the rest of the list here, but we want to tell you about our friends at Coors Light. You know by now, when you got a stressful day, or not even stressful, just busy, a lot going on,
Yeah.
work, dropping the kids off, whatever else is going on. You got
Pedro
military
Grifol
jets
gets
flying.
fired.
over.
Get fired
and
from
you
the
have
White
to come in
Sox.
early.
You got fired by the White Sox, exactly. You no longer have to drink their beer sponsor, whatever that might be. Pedro Grifol, probably pleased to be able to crack open a Coors Light without worrying about offending sponsors, because it is the best, and it is the perfect beer for when you are choosing chill. Pedro, man, they hardly gave him a chance.
How many L's in chill?
22?
Yeah, it got to
89.
22, right? Or no, it got to 21.
It did get to 21, yes.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Pedro can take a deep breath and choose chill. And when he does, he should reach for a Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment, crisp and refreshing as the Rockies. It's cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged. That's why Coors Light has a smoother finish. I bet you didn't know that. Yep, that's true. When you embrace a chill mindset like Pedro Grifol, it's a good time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart right now by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO Hockey. That's CoorsLight.com/CHGO Hockey. Again, one of those links that you should be able to visit for us. We'd appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
And hey, if you want a good place to go to crack open a Coors Light, why not go to one of our CHGO events? Plenty
Yeah.
going on this summer. Speaking of the White Sox, and first game with new manager Grady Sizemore.
Love Grady Sizemore.
How about that?
He's a great player
You
15
can go
years ago.
see his first game of the Sizemore era with the White Sox, with the CHGO White Sox crew for their takeover tomorrow, August 9th. Limited tickets still available.
I think I
CHGO
saw
White
4
Sox.
tickets left.
Yeah,
That's
get
limited.
them while they're hot.
And these are $50 cheaper than tickets on the secondary market because they're in like section 147 or something like that. Yeah. So,
Nope, they're the
And
Planet
you
Jets.
get more than just the game ticket.
That's right.
You get to hang out with the CHGO Sox crew. I'm pretty sure maybe some CHGO Cubs crew is going to be out there because it is a crosstown game. White Sox taking on the Cubs, and there is going to be fireworks after the game, win or lose.
There's
Maybe
not
some
gonna be-
flyovers, too.
There's not going to be any during the game, so you got to
Maybe
wait
some
till after the
flyovers. Who
game.
knows?
Not with those two teams.
So get your tickets. Die Hard save 20% off on all events, including this one. Go to allchgo.com/events. And while you're there, you can see all the other events that we got going on. CHGO Cubs, they got a watch party coming up pretty soon. It's a free one, so all you got to do is RSVP and check them out at Primetime Bar and Grill in Hickory Hills as they take on the Guardians. That one's coming up. And speaking of events coming up, we have our CHGO Kickoff Classic, the second annual golf outing at Cog Hill. That's coming up on August 23rd. Again, diehards save 20%. You get to hang out, play golf, eat some good food, have some good beverages, have some good times, some good laughs, and maybe play well or play bad at golf. Who cares? You're outside on a nice day. It's a fun time. So
Yeah.
go to allchgo.com/events, see all these events and more that we got going on. Get your tickets and come hang out.
Always a good time at those takeovers. And when the games don't matter for the Sox,
Just go and eat
Cubs,
food.
just
and
go and chill.
hang out. Yeah.
What was
This
the thing
is-
Steven did at the game a
The
couple
nine-
years ago?
oh,
The
nine,
9
nine,
and 9 or whatever.
Yeah, 999.
9 beers, 9 hot dogs
9 beers,
in
and
9
nine
innings.
That Steven calls that a Wednesday, though. That's not really
We
fair.
had,
play.
man, the hot dogs are fine, but the beers, we had to scrape him out of his seat by the 8th inning. He was
all right.
overserved.
Yeah.
It was also didn't help that it was like 106
That was
degrees
a hot
day.
day.
Yeah,
yes.
that was a
that
very
is-
hot day.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Next on the list, number 7. I'm sorry.
Number 7.
Yeah, we're
Jeremy
slowly going.
Swayman
Swayman.
of the Boston Bruins. I had him low on my list, top 10, because he hasn't proven that he can be the guy for the whole year. Him and Linus Ullmark have literally split the games the last 2 seasons. Ullmark won a Vezina 2 years ago. Swayman took over that gig in the playoffs against Toronto and carried it over into the second round, but he still hasn't started more than 43 games. 43 games he started last year. That was a career high. He was very good. 916 save percentage, 253 goals against, and 3 shutouts. He's been very good in his brief time in the NHL so far, just 132 games over 4 seasons. But with Ullmark now a Senator of Ottawa, Swayman's going to be the guy. He's probably going to have to start 50 to 60, 65 games this year. I'm not sure who they brought in to be their backup. I don't recall off the top of my head because this isn't a Bruins podcast, unlike some other shows on our network. Yeah, when they're actually doing shows these days.
Shots fired.
So, yeah, Jeremy Swayman, number 7. Going to be interesting to see what he does as the guy, especially in a town like Boston. There'll be some pressure. If he struggles, there's going to be the we should have never traded Ullmark discourse. There's going to be people, we should have traded Swayman instead of Ullmark.
They got Juuse Saros.
That's right. They got him.
Salo
They got him in that trade
from the
Senators.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's going to have to be the guy because that other guy is not very good.
Yeah, I mean, he did
Korpisalo was a fine backup.
Yeah,
in
he's
that
fine,
posi- in that position.
But you don't want to play him more than 20 games if you don't have to.
Yeah, it's interesting because I mean, I don't wonder if they gave Swayman more starts last year just to sort of see, like, can he handle the bulk of starts? And again, it's not a ton more, but I don't know. They must believe in him. And look, there's nothing I've seen. If that's the only thing going against him as well, he's never really had a full 60 game starter load. I don't know. He's been pretty damn good all along. I know the Bruins are always a good team, always competitive, but when you look at the numbers, when you look at everything on paper, there's nothing that tells me that he's, a product of splitting time or a product of a great defensive team. Everything really jumps off the page for him. And when you watch him play, he's very good, very solid. Just, he to me, he's kind of an old school kind of a goalie, just a solid, no nonsense, classic butterfly style. I like him a lot. I like his personality a lot too. And again, only 25, which in goalie terms is like 20.
Yeah,
because it always takes goalies a couple years extra.
Yeah.
So
could be a guy that in a couple of years is representing Team USA at the Olympics.
Might be.
Yeah,
might
I
be.
can see that.
Might also be the next guy on our list.
Could be, or a guy later in our list. But
likely,
there's some good choices, but he's definitely in the running.
Better than Canada's choices. Oof.
Yes. But yeah, spoiler alert. Let's move on to number 6. He's going to be an American-born goaltender. It's Mario's favorite goaltender of all time.
Whoa. Where's that coming from?
Oh, you love Jake Oettinger. It's Jake Oettinger.
Yeah, well, he's really good.
He didn't even go to Wisconsin, and you love him.
If you're a college hockey player and you get to the NHL and you didn't go to Wisconsin and I like you, you're doing something right.
He is. I think he's got that Joe Pavelski dust
by
sprinkled on him a
association.
little bit.
Yeah,
that helps a little
true.
bit. Jake Oettinger, last season,
not a great
35
season.
wins, a 2.72 GAA, and a 905 save percentage. You're talking like Mrazek type numbers there with the save percentage, but
not great for his standards.
Playing for the Stars, you can get away with a lot more. It was a step back for him. It was his lowest save percentage and his highest goals against of his 4-year career. The playoffs, better in the playoffs, a .913 save percentage and a 2.24 goals against with the Stars, taking them to 2 wins shy of a Stanley Cup final berth. Lakeville, Minnesota native who played at Boston University, and I'm just looking at his picture here on Hockey Reference. Dude has a gigantic neck.
Yeah.
Huge. Like Andreas England-esque neck. Look at that thing.
It's a thick neck.
That's a big neck.
Gonna save everything with his neck.
Yeah, you got a lot more,
Sticks his neck out
head
for you.
space. You can cover the top.
Yeah, that's how he's able to
neck.
see through traffic. He's a giraffe.
Yeah, I like Oettinger. He's a big reason why the Dallas Stars for the last few years have consistently been top of the division, top of the conference, and a team that goes deep into the playoffs. Yeah, and not a great season last year, but I still feel like his trajectory is still in that top 10, could be a top 5 goalie in the league if he keeps going on that path. And I think last season, probably again a little bit more of an anomaly over the year to not be able to just be kind of league average. Picked it up in the playoffs. I still trust in him to be one of the top go-to goalies that you look at and you're like, he's on that fence of like elite 60+ game starter.
And another goalie on this list who's not 26 yet.
Yeah,
Young.
I had him lower on the list this year, to be honest, because I feel like whatever playoff series that was in 2021-22 where he was just ungodly. And he earned it. I mean, he played great, but much like it's tough to shake a bad performance,
maybe yeah.
You can also be given a lot of credit for a great performance, which he had. And I just feel like he's been getting out-dueled. I still think he's a really good goalie. I had him in my top 10. I didn't have him this high, but I want to see him, if we're going to add him to the list of the elite, which top 6, top 5, I think you'd start to say, I want to see him basically take a series on his own and win it. And, he's on a team that's good enough. He's on a team that should be able to get through. And look, the Oilers, obviously a very good team. Stuart Skinner outplayed him. Yeah. And that's, I need to see more from Oettinger before I move him into this like top 6, top 5 territory. I think he's going to get there. I think he's really, really good. But if we're talking right now, there were a couple moments in last year's playoffs where I was like, ooh, that's not the kind of goal you expect Jake Oettinger to give up.
Right.
While the numbers look good, there were a few moments from him where you're kind of like, kind of raise the eyebrows for me a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong.
Should I be dragging the second camera outside to see if we can get anything?
Can you guys hear that?
They're going. You have. They have.
There's no doubt
You
they
have
heard
to be able
that.
to hear that.
Very loud.
Yeah,
That was the loudest one, yeah.
They're going right over our heads.
Apparently the world is ending outside, but we're still talking about goalies.
It's fine.
And we're in the top 5
It's fine.
with 17 minutes left, so we got to go through these quickly.
Yeah, let's rifle through.
Number 5, we have Thatcher Demko.
Great name. Best name on the list.
Vancouver Canucks. This was a guy I remember his draft year. I wrote in a mock draft from a former employer that the Blackhawks should have taken him in the first round when they were drafting like 30th or 31st, whatever it was, 30th back then.
They could have got him.
2014 NHL entry draft. I got ripped. What are you talking about? We have Corey Crawford. You don't take a goalie in the first round.
You don't have Corey Crawford forever.
It looked pretty good now, but last year, great season.
They got Nick Schmaltz.
Yeah, it's all right. That got us Dylan Strome, and then whatever we got for Dylan Strome. 9 point. You all right over there? Nope. I mentioned Dylan Strome and Jay Dyes on the air.
Oh boy.
918 save percentage, 245.45 goals against. 5 shutouts. The Canucks season pretty much ended when he got hurt in the playoffs. And that's been his biggest thing, too. He seems to always get hurt. He was healthy a lot for much of the regular season, but then when the team needed him most, he got hurt. But he was a big reason why they won that division. Yes, Thatcher Demko is another American goalie, so he will have a good shot at being an Olympic goalie. He was born in San Diego, hotbed of hockey goaltending out there in San Diego, California.
Wales.
Went to Boston College. Second round pick by the Canucks.
Yeah.
Just a good goalie. He could climb this list if he can string together a couple of years where he stays healthy.
All right, I'm high on my list because to me, of the guys on this list, he is the one who elevates his team. Like all these guys are really good goalies on really good teams. And Vancouver was great last year. Don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but
largely
I
because
think
of him.
Exactly. I think Demko is the kind of guy who took a good team and made them great.
Yeah.
Because of how good he was. So I had him pretty high on the list. We'll reveal our own lists at the end of the show here. But I really like him.
I had him in this range too. Yeah. I for what you guys said, like without him, the Canucks were a completely different team.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big testament to how good he has gotten.
All right, number 4, we have reigning Stanley Cup champion goalie Sergei Bobrovsky, guy that's
back on the case.
He is. I love his nicknames here on Hockey Reference. Bob, Beaver,
Sure.
Officer Bobrovsky, and the number 1 cop.
That's not a nickname.
Are we just allowing anyone to submit a nickname and just publishing it? Is that what's happening?
Oh man,
I don't.
There's so many bad ones on
I
there.
have a training camp idea that is going to be. I'm going to get the most obscure Hockey Reference nicknames and quiz the guys at camp and see if they can think who that is.
I like that.
On the Blackhawks?
On the Blackhawks,
All right,
yeah.
I like it. You can even ask the guy that it is and see if he
Sure,
even knows that that's his nickname.
Has anyone
Have you ever
called you
been
this?
called this, or is it just nonsense?
Yeah. But Bobrovsky, this was a guy that was...
nickname or nonsense?
Nickname or nonsense. Oh, gee, look at that.
Trademarked.
Good stuff. Our guy Bob, the number 1 cop, was a guy that people were ready to run out of the league entirely a couple years ago. Back-to-back Stanley Cup final appearances. Won the cup this past year. Hey, we need number 4, number 3.
He'll be back, I guess.
All right. And you can do it. It can't be that hard. It's all breaking down. It's off the rails here. But Sergei Bobrovsky, number 4 on our list. We're waiting on number 3. Yeah, we were ready for number 3. Lawrence left to go watch the Plains.
Sorry.
He's
taking like 8 minutes per guy. I don't know.
Well, we only have a few minutes left. There's only so much you could say about Sergei Bobrovsky.
Yes, I agree. I'm Bobrovsky.
Yes, very good goalie.
When you get to the top, it's easier. It's like, I mean,
you don't really have to justify your cause.
Right, exactly.
They're really effing good. All right, number 3, another Russian, Andrei. All the eyes, Vasilevskiy.
By a vowel. Yeah.
What's his nicknames, by the way?
I'm sure there's some dumb
Big
ones.
Cat and Vasi. All right.
Okay, sure.
Fine.
A down year for Andrei Vasilevskiy. 2.9 GAA and just a 900 save percentage. Not good numbers for him. He started the season late due to injury. Tampa was not the same team, but that's an anomaly. And I think he'll bounce back huge. Like, even if with those numbers, if I've got a game 7 to win, he's one of the first guys I'm looking to
100%.
Like, he's probably second in the one game needed. If I don't get first pick, I'm taking Vasilevskiy.
Yeah.
He was dealing with back issues as well, as Windy City Hockey says. That's not good for a goalie.
No.
Hopefully the long off season gets him back, because Vasilevskiy going forward is the most important player on that team as they lose Stamkos.
Yeah.
Their stars get older.
Yeah, Victor Hedman's not getting any younger.
Neither is Kucherov.
Right.
Like, those guys, they're still very good, but as those guys start to head to the downslope of their careers, Vasilevskiy, he needs to be huge, and he's still young for a goalie. 30, just turned 30 a couple days ago.
It's crazy. It's still
crazy.
I still have to
he
double
was a
check my memory.
teenager.
Like, he was the goalie against the Hawks in 2015. Yes.
Yeah. What, he was like
20 years
19?
old.
I know, it's
20.
crazy.
years old.
Like,
He played in
I feel like
the
he's
in the
played
cup
forever.
final.
Yeah, because Ben Bishop got too ouchy.
He tore both his groins.
my groin.
Just on that one play where Patrick Sharp
Might have
scored.
been. Yeah. Might have been.
Well, Patrick Sharp did a lot of damage to groins.
Hey, now.
Didn't he burst Sammy Solo's nutsack with a slash? Remember that?
I don't remember
I
that.
thought we were talking. Never mind.
Well, that too probably. But
we're talking about
yeah, I remember that.
Meteorologist.
Oh God! Wow! Don't feed that rumor.
Anywho, yeah, Vasilevskiy, number 3. Let's do number 2. Another Russian, Igor Shesterkin of the New York Rangers.
Was he on your list?
I'm going to let you in a little secret. He was number 1 on my list.
Oh, wow.
I will not.
Number 1 Rangers fan, Greg,
I will
over
not
here.
let my hatred for the organization he plays for blind the fact that he's the best damn goalie in the game.
Yeah.
He's really effing good. Another great year from him last year, 2.58 GAA, a 912 save percentage, which is 9 points lower than his career average. This was a guy that finished 3rd in the Hart Trophy voting 2 years ago and won his Vezina when he had a 935 save percentage and a 207 goals
That's
against.
insane.
He's taken the Rangers to the Eastern Conference Final twice in the last 3 years.
Yep.
The first time in 2022, you could say it was only because of him.
Mhm.
This season, he was a big reason they got past, through 2 rounds. He's a damn good player. In the playoffs this year, a 926 save percentage, 234 goals against. His career save percentage in the postseason is 928.
He's another one of these team elevators like Demko, a guy that is so good he makes the team better.
Yeah, I mean, the Rangers are a solid squad, but if they did not have Shesterkin, they wouldn't be one of those teams that you're like, oh, yeah, pencil them into at least the 2nd or maybe even 3rd round on the Eastern Conference, because it's without him, they are
They're
decent, but they're not top of the conference without him. And yeah, he's as Braggy points out, he's still very young as well.
He's 28. A little older, but that's still young for goalies. I mean, you look at Bobrovsky, he's 30, going to be 36 soon, and still playing goalies.
A goalie at 28 is like prime.
I mean,
Yeah.
Corey Crawford wasn't a full-time NHL goalie until he was 27. So,
Yeah.
that doesn't worry me. 28 goalie. He still only has 213 career games. They did a really good job last season. Jonathan Quick was really good for them. Jonathan Quick, for a stretch of the year, was putting up much better numbers. So they only played him 55 games last year. That's huge.
Yeah.
That is huge. So Igor Shesterkin, 2nd overall. As I already said, I had him number 1 on my list. So our number 1 goalie was not a unanimous decision, but it's hard to argue. Connor Hellebuyck, the reigning Vezina winner, Jennings Trophy winner.
Doesn't get that without Brossois.
This is true.
That is true.
Connor Hellebuyck, the best regular season goalie in the NHL right now.
Sure is.
But he was more Connor Hellebuyck against the
I
Avalanche.
see what you did there.
In the first round, but won his 2nd Vezina of his career, 37 wins, 239 GA, 2.39, a 921 save percentage, and 5 shutouts. He's had at least 4 shutouts in 7 of his 9 seasons in the NHL.
That's really good.
Including 5 seasons in a row of at least 4 shutouts. But, as I said, those 5 games against the Avalanche, an 864 save percentage and a 5.23 GAA. That's bad.
That's bad.
That is bad.
Yeah, I wonder if you worry about work. I mean, it wasn't like a massive workload on him because they had Brossois. Maybe just ran out of gas. I'm still shocked that he re-signed there. When him and Scheifele re-signed, I was like, really?
It's hard to turn down that kind of money, though.
I know, but I feel like a lot of teams would have given that to him. But I think maybe he felt a little bit of an ownership to the Jets and saying, if me and Scheifele leave, this franchise is in a bad way because they're already not doing great. And to lose guys like that would be tough.
Yeah.
So,
well, his career, regular season, 917 save percentage, 2.63 goals against. His career in the postseason, still pretty good. His last 2 outings have not been great, but he's still a 910 and a 2.85. And that's with the 523 GA last year and a 344 the year before. So his last 2 playoff outings have not gone great. But then again, he was facing the Avalanche. He was facing Vegas. So Yeah, it's hard to argue. He's I mean, even though he was second on my list, he's the reigning Vezina Trophy winner. So that means he was voted the best goalie in the league.
Right. Yeah. And I think too, to the point of like maybe the playoffs was a workload thing catching up to him. He's played 60 or more games in 5 of his 8 NHL seasons. The one season where he was the starter and played 45 games was the shortened 2021 season. He played 45 of 56 games. That is a 65 game pace over 82 games. So basically the last, let's say 4 seasons, he was playing at a 60 games played pace or more. So that is a lot for a starting goaltender.
Even with Brossoit doing as good as he was last year, he still played 60 games.
Yeah. Like and it's rare, I think, now to see goaltenders play to that 60 game threshold. But with a guy as talented as Hellebuyck is, you're like, okay, you're okay with it, you know, because he is that good. He is that important to the Jets. I still trust him to be the guy that he was in the regular season rather than what we saw against the Avalanche. And look, it's the Avalanche. Like they're pretty offensively gifted. But it was striking how bad he actually was. But I still go into this year thinking he is still the best in the league. I had him at the top of my list, and he would be my pick to be the starter for Team USA.
Tough to argue that.
Yeah, he's going to be in for at least 60 games this year if he stays healthy, because Kaapo Kähkönen is his backup, but I don't see as good as Brossoit was last year. I don't see Kähkönen doing anything to get 30 to 35 starts to take that way. But a new coach this year in Scott Arnell, so maybe he has a different philosophy than Rick Bowness, who was like, hell, it's my last year. I'm going to ride this guy until I'm out of here.
Well, I mean, maybe you look at it as lesson learned too when round one of the playoffs, and I think it's unfair that Hellebuyck would be punished for one bad playoff series. I mean, yes, was it bad? Yes, but I feel like every great goalie in history who's had a lot of playoff experience has had 1 or 2 series they'd probably want back. Yeah. And of course, this would be top of the list for Connor Hellebuyck.
Well, they won every series they didn't win back.
Sure.
True. But in terms of like
that's my like worst. I hate when announcers say, "Oh, he probably wants that one back." You could say that about every goal they ever give up. They want that back.
Want it back.
Of course,
I think that's the announcer way of saying that goal sucked.
Well, just say that was a soft goal.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, they're scared.
Well, to Kähkönen's, credit, the last 3 seasons that he's played 37, 37, and 36 games. So he can shoulder a 30-plus game workload. And maybe it's not a bad idea to not have to play Connor Hellebuyck 60-plus games.
I mean, just look at the last 2 playoff runs. I think he's run out of gas. So
maybe he'll play 59.
There you go. It's a mental thing.
Yeah.
All right, shall we give out our personal top 10s before we...
let's do... Broggy gave us a special super chat. It's $2. Says, new job means more super chats.
All
Love
right.
you all. Congrats, Broggy. Nice job on the new gig.
Yeah. I hope you're not at your job now doing this, because it might not last long, but thank you.
And hopefully you're not using the new corporate credit card to do these super chats.
If you are, they'd probably be more than $2 a pop.
Fair enough. Yes, we can go ahead and give our lists. Why don't we go Mario across?
Sure. Number 10, I had Stuart Skinner. Number 9, Ilya Sorokin. Number 8, Jeremy Swayman. Number 7, Juuse Saros. I had Thatcher Demko 6th. Sergei Bobrovsky 5th. Jake Oettinger 4th. Vasilevskiy 3rd. Shesterkin 2nd. And Hellebuyck 1st.
All right, for my top 10, I had Jeremy Swayman 10th. I had Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen 9th.
Ooh, nice one.
On name alone.
Just on name alone, but he was awesome for the Sabres last year.
Yep.
Stuart Skinner 8th, Oettinger 7th, Juuse Saros 6th. Top 5 is Demko, Bobrovsky, Vasilevskiy, Hellebuyck 2nd, and number 1 New York Rangers guy here, Igor Shesterkin, best goalie in the league.
All right, I had Oettinger 10th, Saros 9th, Ullmark 8th, Vasilevskiy 7th, because we said right now, Sorokin 6th, Shesterkin 5th, Bobrovsky 4th, Swayman 3rd, Demko 2nd. and Hellebuyck first.
Wow.
So there's my top 10.
Had Hellebuyck, Demko, Swayman.
Yeah. I probably should have switched Swayman
And I'm
to
proud
Shesterkin
to
in
be
hindsight.
an American.
That's right. USA all the way, baby.
It is
Pride
the
is
Air and
back.
Water show, after all.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's go watch these Jets. What do you say?
Yeah, we're going to wrap up. All right, we're back tomorrow.
The Jets that
2:30.
don't disappoint you in the
Correct.
postseason.
Yeah.
What do we want to do tomorrow?
Yeah, whatever the hell we want.
I'll be gone.
We'll figure that out about.
Oh, no.
We'll figure that out about 1:45 tomorrow.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. All right. We'll talk to everybody then. Do us a favor on your way out. Please hit that like button. And do us a favor. We asked for this yesterday. If you weren't here, grab one of your favorite episodes. Maybe it's this one. Maybe it's a different one. And share it with a friend. Get the conversation going on your top 10 goalies. Hey, what do you think? What do you think of this list? These guys are idiots. Whatever.
Embrace debate.
Yeah. Share it wide. A lot of people are not on social media, so it's a tough way to discover us if they're not on social media. So help them out. Send a link over to a friend or two today. We'd appreciate that. In the meantime, we'll talk to you tomorrow at 2:30 on the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.